the latest Las Vegas news, rumors, and gossip. I'm Chris. This is Yellow Productions. I do travel guides that are fun, informative, and entertaining. This video, it's a live stream. If you're on the live stream, I look forward to hanging out with y'all for about the next 45 minutes to an hour. If you're watching the archive, well, make sure you subscribe, click the bell to turn on notifications so you never miss another one of these live streams. And there's a lot to dive in with y'all today about what's going on in Vegas, and so let's go ahead and just get right into it. So the first thing I want to talk about is the trend in Vegas for adults-only resorts. And the first one that we've probably all heard about is this one, the Circa Hotel. The Circa Hotel, it's like the biggest thing to happen in downtown Las Vegas, well, in a really long time. And the Circa Hotel is opening the casino on October 28th. So what is that, just in 3 days from now? And the Circa has advertised itself as a 21 and older resort. Now, when they advertised this, they said they are going to be the only casino in Las Vegas that'll be 21 and up. No, actually, now that's not true, but we'll talk about why that's not true when we get to the second hotel that we'll talk about. So the Circa, they are splitting their opening. On October 28th, they're opening the casino, and on December 28th, then they're opening the hotel, just in time for the New Year's Eve celebrations. This is the first hotel to be developed in downtown Las Vegas since 1980, and it takes up an entire block of the Fremont Street experience. It used to be the home to the Las Vegas Club Casino, the Mermaids Casino, a variety of other businesses. It'll have 777 rooms, and you know what? They've actually released a national commercial. Let's take a look at their 30-minute commercial spot, because I think that shows the hotel off probably even better than I could.
I love this city. It's always reinventing itself. But this is more than reinvention. This is unlike anything that's been done before. I wanted to create a place that didn't just keep up with the times. I wanted to create something new, but classic. It's a new Vegas, a new era, and it's starting right here.
So it's a new Vegas, and apparently that new Vegas is adults only or 21 and up. The other thing they've said about creating the 21 and up experience is the Circa Hotel has said they've heard from a lot of parents who look forward to visit solely because the resort is a 21 and older experience, and their goal is to pay homage to Las Vegas's history with some vintage glamour style and old school hospitality. Now, one thing you might have seen in that little commercial is this thing. It's their swimming pool that they have on top, and they're calling this thing Stadium Swim. It's a 4,000 person capacity rooftop pool deck. It has an amphitheater, 6 pools, cabanas, outdoor gaming, and you see there it has this massive 135-foot by 41-foot video screen. That is going to be pretty amazing. The other thing that's going to be pretty amazing, I think, at the Circa, and I think it's kind of cool, maybe just because I always hate parking in a lot of Las Vegas parking garages because they're sketchy and filthy and dirty. Well, the Circa is calling their parking garage the Garage Mahal after the Taj Mahal, and they say it's going to be more than just the cleanest, safest parking garage in Las Vegas, but it's literally a work of art, and you can take in work of art experiences throughout the parking garage. I really want to see that parking garage when it opens. And a lot of you know that I'm big on cheap eats. I've got a lot of videos about cheap eats in Las Vegas, and actually in my last cheap eats video, I said that Las Vegas is no longer the home to the 99-cent shrimp cocktail. Well, the Circa is bringing the 99-cent shrimp cocktail back. They'll be serving it at Saginaw's Restaurant Cafe, but it's only going to be 99 cents between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. So for the night owls, the rest of the day, it's going to be $11. So that's actually a pretty good discount if you're going to be up at that hour. Candy on the live stream says she's going to be in Vegas for this Halloween weekend, staying at the Palazzo. That's exciting, Candy. Let's see. There's a question. Tycron wants to know, in the new Vegas, do they still have card flippers where they try and give your wife prostates. That was probably misspelling, but yes, they still have the card flippers that are out on the Strip. It wouldn't be Vegas without the card flippers. And Vic wants to know if the Circa Casino is the same as the Atari Hotel. No, they are different. We'll talk about the Atari Hotel in a bit. Now, one of the other trends in Las Vegas is hotels going no smoking. The Circa will not be no smoking, so they're still going to allow smoking in it. But they have said that the ventilation system, it's like the first of its kind in Las Vegas, that the air actually pushes up from the floor to the ceiling instead of the other way around. Most air conditioning systems in these big hotels go from the ceiling into the room, and so they say because it goes from the floor to the ceiling, that guests will experience it like it's a no-smoking hotel. I'll be curious to see if that's actually the case. Now, I saw some people in the chat saying, what's the other hotel that's going to be adults only? And a few people said it, and Amy also said, Neil said yes to Amy, that the Cromwell is the other hotel, which indeed. So the Cirque has been announcing for a long time that they're going to be adults only. Well, Caesars Entertainment had yet to open the Cromwell. It is the last hotel on the Las Vegas Strip that is currently still closed. Caesars has announced that the Cromwell will reopen on October 29th, so one day after the Circa, and the Cromwell will be the first adults-only hotel on the Las Vegas Strip. 21 and up only, so only adults in the hotel, only adults in the casino, only adults in the pool. But you know, even though they say it's adults only for those things, the hotel's actually not entirely adults only. Guests of all ages will be welcome at the Cromwell's Steakhouse Guiada. Now, and actually at the Cromwell, it's the same thing. They have a steakhouse at the Cromwell, and people under the age of 21 will be able to go to the steakhouse at the Cromwell. So technically, it's not adults only. It's more like adults only-ish, but it's pretty close. Vegas Confessions podcast wants to know if I will be at the Circa this week. That Vegas Confessions heads out tomorrow. I will not be. Having our 10-month-old little explorer is keeping us at home right now, but I will actually be experiencing the opening of the Circa vicariously through all of you that will be YouTubing or podcasting it. So Amy wants to know if the hotels have full websites to see the rooms, info, etc. The Cromwell has actually, like where I got some of these pictures, they have like a press release where they announced the Cromwell's opening. The press release has some really good high-resolution photos of the rooms. The Circa's not done yet, so I'm not sure that I would, because the hotel doesn't open on December 28th, so I don't know that anything we'd see of the rooms would be actually what they're like, because I don't think they're actually all done. Okay, so back to the Cromwell. Now, 21 and up. Why? Well, this is a really small hotel. The Cromwell only has 188 rooms. Before it was the Cromwell, it was the site of the Barbary Coast Casino for 30 years, and then it was Bill's Gambling Hall and Saloon from 2007 to 2013, and then when Caesars took it over in 2013, they invested $185 million into it to redo it as the Cromwell. And I thought about, like, am I sad that the Cromwell's adults only, having a 10-month-old daughter? And I'm really not, because there's nothing in the Cromwell for people that are under 21. Like, the Cromwell has a casino, it has bars, it has a nightclub, and there's really nothing to do in that hotel for people under 21. So I guess maybe that makes sense why Caesars picked this one to do. If you're trying to picture where this one is, it's at the corner of Flamingo and Las Vegas Boulevard. It's been closed for quite a long time, and while it was closed, it played home to the reality TV show Love Island. They were recording that there, so that might have been one of the other reasons they kept this one closed. Now that the Cromwell's reopening, this is going to open all of the Caesars Entertainment hotels in Las Vegas, except for the Rio. Now, the one thing that still won't be opening, and I think is actually the coolest part about the Cromwell, is on the top of the Cromwell. I'm trying to point to it here, and this is really hard to point virtually, virtually. But at the top, on the rooftop, they've got what I think is Vegas's nightclub with the best view. It's called Dries. Dries will not be reopening when the Cromwell opens. They will be reopening something that they call Dries Lounge, but it's in the basement, not to be confused with the nightclub that's on the top. So Justin says that Vegas seems to have ditched the old ad campaign of family friendly, so why not 21? Yeah, and I'm curious, for those of you on the live stream, and I've seen a few people sharing what they think. Some people say, doesn't matter to me. But tell me, what do you think about this adults only trend? Now, the adults only trend, right? Vegas for a long time seemed like it was marketed to families, but before it was marketed to families, Circus was originally built to be an adults-only hotel, and they tried it, and it didn't work. And Circus did not become successful until the new operators were in charge, and they catered to families. When the Bellagio opened, they tried to be adults-only. The Wynn and Encore have tried to limit strollers and children. But, that it was hard because Las Vegas during the 90s really marketed itself as a kid-friendly destination with the Circus, with the Excalibur, Treasure Island, and their swashbuckling fights. Even MGM Grand had a theme park. Let's see. There's some comments about... Anon says, you can also get 99-cent shrimp cocktails at the Fremont Casino. Well, thank you for that tip, Anon. That's good to see. Michael says he loves the adult-only trend with the kids. James questions, is the Cromwell affordable? And Candy says, I don't think so. It's $2.99 per night. Yeah, I think, anytime you hear a hotel marketed as a boutique hotel, that generally means more expensive than what it's worth. Let's see. P-Law wants to know if I've ever been to Vegas alone. I have been to Vegas alone. In addition to going there for fun, I also go there for work, for conferences, and so that often takes me there by myself, too. Oscar Love likes the No Kids, and Tracy says, thanks for doing the live stream at a reasonable time in the UK. My pleasure, Tracy. Thank you for tuning in. And Pascal says, I am okay with 21 only. Ninja says, the reason 21 is drinking is people still in high school until 21, then they top out and get kicked out. I don't think they're 21 until they're still in high school, but okay. And Vegas Confessions podcast says that 99 shrimp cocktail might not have the world's freshest shrimp. It might not have the world's freshest shrimp. You are right. Okay, so the other big trend in Las Vegas, in addition to adults only, is no smoking. This is something that during the COVID times, people were talking about, like, are the hotels going to open as no smoking? Which one will open as no smoking? And a lot of the casinos have said no smoking at the gambling tables so that you don't take off your mask with a whole bunch of people there. But the one hotel that said, you know what, we're diving in, we're going entirely no smoking, was Park MGM. Park MGM opened just recently to be the first hotel entirely on the Strip to be non-smoking. Actually, there was one hotel in Las Vegas before that called the Silver City Casino that in 1991 and 94 tried to be non-smoking, but that did not work out for them. So I know that everybody in Vegas is watching this one to see how successful the Park MGM is. Now, additionally, while it was closed, they actually purchased new carpet for the whole hotel because I'm sure they said, well, if we make it no smoking, the carpet's still going to smell like smoke. So they recarpeted the whole hotel. And MGM Resorts said the reason why they were doing it is that guest demand played a role in the decision to change the smoking policy. Guest demand. MGM put out a bunch of surveys during while the hotels were closed saying, hey, what would you like to see when you come back? That was one of their questions, and so that was wide open that way. And a lot of people, like EJ, Brad, and Kai, love the no smoking idea. I do too. And I think it's a great way, like even this trend of like adults only hotels, no smoking hotels, making the hotels actually different distinctively and different ones to actually cater to different people rather than all the hotels just seeming the same. Now, in Atlantic City, right, the other big gambling place in the U.S., the governor announced last month that he's reinstating a smoking ban inside all Atlantic City casinos. But what most of the hotels are worried about is not that non-smokers won't go, but it's not that smokers won't go to non-smoking hotels, but that smokers' gambling will be interrupted when they need to go smoke. So I mentioned that other hotels are watching it. One hotel that came out and said they're watching what's happening is the assistant general manager of the Tropicana Hotel, said they're looking at the Park MGM to see what happens. So I'm looking forward to going to the Park MGM next time I'm there to smell the fresh air. By the way, as with every live stream, I'll be giving away a Yellow Productions Crew t-shirt later in this live stream. You just have to answer my question later about something I have said in this live stream. James is a fan of the no smoking decision. Awesome, James. And yes, in every other casino in Las Vegas, you can smoke in it. There was a question that I saw in the live chat that's on a previous page. Let's see if I can pull this up right here. Maybe it's gone. I think this P-Law asks if I know somebody personally who acquired COVID. I do know people that have acquired COVID, and they have since recovered. Let's see. Vegas Confessions Podcast says, what about places like Bally's with smoking rooms? Does that still apply? I think that for sure. I mean, I think the Vegas hotels absolutely still have smoking rooms. I don't think that's changed. Obviously the Marriotts and the Hiltons of the world, they've said no smoking entirely across their hotels, but I think you will still find smoking rooms in Las Vegas. Okay, so let's go on to some hotel openings or changes. Another hotel that recently opened was the Planet Hollywood. The Planet Hollywood opened on October 8th, one of my favorite hotels for cheap eats in Las Vegas. Planet Hollywood was closed for 7 months. The weird thing about the Planet Hollywood opening is the casino's open 7 days a week, but the hotel is only open on weekends. There's just been so few people going to Vegas on weekdays that Caesars didn't think it was worthwhile to even bother to open the hotel on weekdays. I have heard reports from people saying they were able to book rooms on weekdays, but interesting to hear reports if that actually worked out as a thing to stay, because Caesars has officially said it's not opened on weekdays. And I said earlier, all the other strip hotels are open, the Mirage, the Tropicana, and even one off-strip hotel, what used to be the Hooters Hotel, now the Oyo Hotel, has reopened as well. And so if you're headed to Vegas soon and you want to check out my favorite cheap eat in Vegas, it's in the Planet Hollywood. It is the Earl of Sandwich. Best sandwiches anywhere, and it's open. So everybody's got a different report of COVID. Dana had it. Dana's had worse colds, and P-Law's mom nearly died from it. Well, P-Law, I hope your mom made it through. All right, let's go on to the Wynn Hotel. What's happening at the Wynn and the Encore Hotel? Two things happening at the Wynn and the Encore Hotel. And the first one was the headline of this video about security checks. So the Wynn has added significantly more security to both the Wynn and the Encore Hotel. And it's in an attempt to push back some violent things that have been happening at the Wynn and on the Strip recently. So if you are going to the Wynn Hotel now on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, here's what's going to happen. You will go through, at every entrance that's open, you'll go through metal detectors, and any hand-carried bags will be checked. And they've also increased the number of security that the hotel employs. And this is really at the Wynn in particular. It's in response to a lobby brawl that happened over Labor Day weekend. In the lobby, a man made it rain by throwing cash into the air near the lobby's resort bar. And a crowd began to form, and a group of people were escorted off the property by security. Someone punched another person. Someone swung a liquor bottle and hit multiple people. 2 security guards were hit, so that's why they're having that additional security. Obviously, that's not something that any Las Vegas hotel wants to have happen in their lobby. And the other thing that's happening at the Wynn and the Encore, in addition to the security checks, is like the Planet Hollywood only being open on weekends. The Wynn is closing the Encore on weekdays. So they open both hotels 7 days a week. The Encore will only be open Thursdays to Sundays due to low demand. So there was this big resurgence of people coming back to Las Vegas, and now it's kind of pittered out a little bit. So we've seen hotels open up, and they're like, lots of people are coming, but then it's kind of come back leveled out to not be all that great on weekdays. Amy says it's awful to have to do all the security, but guests good to have. Yeah, and it's one of these trends where Vegas has never been that way, right? Vegas has never been a place where you've had to do security checks coming into a hotel. You could just walk into any hotel. Nobody would say anything to you. But now, also, it's not just at the Wynn, but the Cosmopolitan Hotel has also added security checks. For them at the Cosmopolitan, it is just Fridays and Saturday nights. And the Cosmopolitan is doing this in connection with the Las Vegas Police Department. It starts 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. Every Friday and Saturday. So if you come in at noon, no problem, but 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. Friday, Saturday. And so they've restricted some doors. Some doors of the Cosmopolitan are only for hotel guests, or guests who have a reservation at a restaurant, or people who have a reward membership. And so then, the Skybridge door, you have to be a hotel guest, but you can go on Las Vegas Boulevard to enter in. And so, it's just... I know Tangerine Travels, when I did the collab with them a couple weeks ago, they said it was very strange because now you'd walk across the Skybridge, generally into the Cosmopolitan and then down to get to the Strip. Well, that entrance from the Skybridge was just restricted to, hotel guests, so and so and so. And so if you're not a hotel guest, you'd have to walk down the steps to the Strip, which is kind of a path that a lot of people haven't taken. Jeff said the security was always there to make sure nobody stole from the casino. For sure, that's the primary reason why they're there. Obviously, a lot of people want to steal from casinos because they have a lot of money. Now they're there for safety. Mark from Walter's World is joining. Thanks for joining in, Mark. And I'm glad to share some stuff. I've been putting this news, I compile this as I read things about Las Vegas, and I'm like, well, I've compiled it for long enough. I'm like, and that's why I'm doing this on a Sunday as kind of a non-standard date and time, because I really want to get it out there and not just this, age out until I'm on my typical Tuesday schedule. Taiwan, indeed, says Mark, another legend. Indeed. And so Mark and I are chatting about doing a joint live stream together. I'm definitely looking forward to that, Mark. I know our fans are as well. So I think that will be a lot of fun when we get to do that. No date announced yet, but you all will be the first to know. Well, you'll probably be the third to know, because Mark and I will probably be the first two to know. But after we know, then you'll all be to know, so you can join in the fun. All right. Now, another big trend for the worse is parking fees are returning to the Las Vegas Strip at Caesars casinos and hotels. Starting October 30th, Caesars Entertainment is going to resume charging for parking. Parking's been free entirely along the Las Vegas Strip since the reopening, but that's no more. They're going to start charging for parking again at Caesars Palace, Paris, Bally's, Flamingo, the Link, and Harrah's. First hour is free. Next 4 hours are $12, $15 for the whole day. Nevada residents are still free. High-level Players Club members are free. Hotel guests are free. Now, however, and whatever reason they say they're charging these fees, I think it's pretty lame. But the reason that Vegas insiders say that Caesars is reinstituting the parking fees is for the same reason these other hotels have implemented more security checks. It's to keep out the undesirables and keep out the mischief that's been happening in their parking garages. Apparently, when there's free parking, more of the people that they don't want to come to the casinos come to the casinos. And their thinking is that if they're charging for parking, they will have less of the mischievous undesirables that are coming to the casino. Nazine says, my camera has better acuity than my eyes. What camera am I using? This is a Sony PZW-Z90. It is a professional Sony camcorder. So if you wanted to look these up, it's not the consumer line, it's the professional line. P-Law is looking forward to the joint live stream with Mark from Walter's World. Fan of you both. Thanks, P-Law. Michael says, are the security checks only for these 2 hotels, or will more follow suit, assumingly? I assume more will follow suit. Right now, it's just these 2. Like, Planet Hollywood has put up signs that say, you know, bags are subject to search and inspection, though they haven't been doing the same, you know, you really got to go through metal detector and all those sorts of things. What am I looking for? I'm looking for my tea, which I put on the other side. Ninja Master says, can you get a parking comp if you eat or buy something? Not really. I mean, unless you're like a Players Club member, then it's free, but not just for buying or eating something. Brandon says they should hold off on parking fees till January 2021. I agree. I think it's short-sighted to start charging parking fees for the reason stated of, you know, that's when mischief is caused. I would prefer the additional security and the bag checks to parking fees. And I like when we talked about the Park Mahal at the Circa, where they're like, this is going to be the cleanest and the safest parking garage. It's going to have art. This is where I say, I feel like a lot of these Las Vegas casinos don't feel like their parking garage is really part of their hotel. You know, you get there and you're like, this place is filthy. This place is dark. This place seems dangerous. I wish they would actually treat it as a part of the casino as opposed to, just do whatever you want in there. And Mark said he just sent me a message for our live feed date. I will look at that, Mark, as soon as I'm done with the live stream. Fantastic. Randy says, what do I think of the new Chick-fil-A on the Strip? There's a Chick-fil-A in front of Planet Hollywood on the Strip. I think it's cool, though it doesn't have any seating, which is kind of a drag because you have to like get it and take it to your room or get it and eat it on the go. So that's a little bit of a drag. Michael wants to know about the tea that I'm drinking. This tea, it's just iced tea from In-N-Out Burger that I've put in my yellow thermos to keep it cold today. Okay, so now this is news and rumors, so let's talk about a rumor. So one of my favorite places to park is Planet Hollywood, and we've just been talking about it with Chick-fil-A. The rumor is that Planet Hollywood, parking's been free there forever. They've never started charging for parking at Planet Hollywood. Well, the rumor is that Planet Hollywood, the Miracle Mile shops, and the Ilara parking complex shared amongst those 3 is going to roll out parking fees in 2021. So boo to the parking fees. It's not confirmed, but that's the rumor going around the interwebs. And MGM has still not announced parking charges. Now, if MGM does announce parking charges, if you want to know a great way to get free parking at MGM hotels, if you just get the MGM credit card, like merely signing up for the credit card and holding it gets you a high enough player's status to not have to pay for parking at MGM hotels. Also, if you're a certain level of Hyatt Elite, you can match your status to M Life and you can get free parking that way. So those are 2 ways to get free parking at MGM hotels. Caesars, you can do the same thing with their credit card, but I think the minimum spend to get that tier level free parking is something like $5,000. Mark wants to know if it's sweet tea or Devil's unsweetened tea. I guess being a California boy, it is Devil's unsweetened tea. At In-N-Out Burger here, they just have one dispenser. It's all unsweetened. I guess I could add sugar to it. The funny part is that In-N-Out Burger chain-wide has always just had one dispenser for unsweetened tea, except when they opened in Texas. And now in Texas, they have a second dispenser. They have unsweetened and sweetened tea because people in Texas are like, what is this unsweetened tea? DLVTT wants to know any info about concerts in 2021. The current limit for concert shows, performances is 250 people. So I don't think we're going to see any big name concerts with only 250 tickets being sold. But some of the shows are starting to reopen, and that's what we're going to talk about. Yeah, and whenever people talk about like comp rooms or free rooms in Las Vegas, it's never a good deal because the reason why they get them, like my guess, is because they lose all the time. That's why they get their free rooms. It's true. Who do they want to be coming back? And Albert wants to know if there's any updates on Resort World. It is 2 items from now. So let's go to the next one, and then we'll hit Resorts World. All right. So another hotel that's under construction is the Virgin Hotel. The Virgin Hotel is set to open on January 15th. This is the site of the former Hard Rock Hotel. So it's a bit of a ways off the strip, but the Hard Rock Hotel closed February 3rd, and they're doing construction and renovation. They intended to do it in 2020 anyway, so I guess COVID worked out perfect timing for them. But the hotel, when it opens, the Virgin Hotel is going to have 1,500 hotel rooms in 3 towers. It's going to be part of the Curio Collection by Hilton. So if you're part of the Hilton Honors Rewards program, you'll be able to accumulate points and get the benefits staying there. And then something really interesting about the Virgin Hotel is that the casino, the 60,000 square foot casino, is going to be the first Las Vegas casino operated by a tribal gaming group. It's going to be operated by the Mohegan Gaming and Entertainment Group. So interesting. I look forward to see what the Virgin Hotel brings to us. Now, there was a question about Resorts World, so let's talk about Resorts World. This is probably the hotel I'm most excited about opening in Las Vegas. Resorts World is still on track to open summer of 2021. This is essentially across from the Encore Hotel on the Strip. It's been a big empty lot for a long time. And let's make this small again. And you don't need to see 2 of me now. You can just see one. You can see 1 of me, too many buttons. So for the construction right now, there's about 3,000 construction workers working on the construction site at Resorts World. And something I thought really interesting was that Resorts World has come out to say that their goal in building Resorts World is say they intend to be the first fully integrated resort in Las Vegas. And what does it mean to be integrated to them? Well, to them, it means that actually a lot of their revenue will come not from gambling. So they are planning for 75% of the revenue of Resorts World not to come from gambling. So that's actually really interesting that they're not planning to rely on the casino all that much because gambling and casinos and trends have just been going downwards in Vegas. So they actually say, when people walk in, the casino is going to seem a little bit like an afterthought. And Resorts World, much like the Virgin Hotel, is also going to be part of the Hilton chain. Hilton's really raking in the brand deals on the Strip, and it's going to have 3 different brands. And so this is another rendering of Resorts World, and I'm going to make this one big so you can see it. And here you can see there are 3 different entrances to Resorts World, 3 different driveways, and those are for the 3 different entrances to the brand there. LXR, Hilton, and the Conrad are what's going to be the 3 hotels at Resorts World. This reminds me of the Sands Resort in Macau, which so we stayed there maybe 5 years ago. We stayed at a Conrad hotel there, and it's one complex that has 3 different hotels and 3 different entrances. Jeff says, watch out for resort fees at Resorts World, but boom, boom. That's pretty good. And Vegas Tank Destroyer says the best iced teas are Long Island iced teas, I bet. Michael Hood says Resorts World is a Conrad. Resorts World is 3 hotels, as we just discussed. Okay. So if you watched my short news blurb last night, I talked about the Atari Hotel. So we just got these really cool renderings of the Atari Hotel. I'm going to make this bigger in this one because, well, this is better full resolution than my short, tall video. This is a rendering of the future Atari Hotel coming to Las Vegas. Atari's planning 8 hotels across the U.S. In places like Las Vegas, Nevada, Phoenix, Arizona, Austin, Texas, Chicago, Denver, San Francisco, San Jose, and Seattle, but the Las Vegas location is going to be their mothership. These are the renderings of what they think the hotel will look like, though they don't have a site announced. They're not breaking ground, but this is what they're saying the hotel will look like, or that they hope it will look like when it opens. I think it looks really neat, particularly this one where you see kind of this like interior city that they have, and then this is like inside that kind of looks this like Blade Runner-esque thing with like catwalks, and I'm sure there's going to be like retro arcades in there. So this is definitely a hotel. The reason why I say Resorts World is the #1 hotel that I'm looking forward to is because that one like has a date that they're opening where Atari doesn't even have a location. I'm definitely looking forward to this hotel too. Just it might be like the train to Las Vegas from California, you know, that's taken like 10 years to open. And Michael Hood says, is this for real? As real as I know, right? These are official renderings that have come out of the Atari Hotel's design and architecture firm. Emmett says, is Atari making a gaming comeback? Seems like a strange callback. Cool, but strange. Yeah, so like Atari as a company is like out of business. They don't exist anymore. But some other company bought the rights to the Atari name and the Atari logo. So this is a different company using Atari's name, image, brand, namesake on this hotel. And Wu Tai says, this is the hotel that he will be staying at. Awesome. That sounds good. And Nomadic Brian says, what would be cool is a complete virtual experience from check-in to check-out, simulate all. And you don't even have to go to Las Vegas then. Just put on your VR headset and you can feel like you're there. That would be pretty funny. And Panjo says Pac-Man would greet you at the entrance. That'd be a lot of fun too. Okay. So conventions. I did a short update on this one too. So I'll talk about this one just briefly here. So the regulations on conventions, Nevada has said conventions are welcome back to Las Vegas. The limit has to be 1,000 people per convention and 250 people per room. So no more than 250 people in a room, no more than 1,000 people to a convention. And so that applies to shows, sporting events, performances, all those sorts of things, a sort of 250 person limit. On big venues like the Allegiant Stadium, they're saying that it can host up to 10% of the capacity, so up to 6,000 people could come to the Allegiant Arena. Now, the hotels to say, like, well, come back to these conventions. They're introducing this new technology to do like rapid COVID-19 testing for guests that are coming to the conventions. So it'll be interesting to see if any conventions come back. What I've heard is that the convention bookers have said, that announcement basically has not moved the needle on conventions, and really they're not seeing any conventions come back based on that announcement. There was a question about the Vegas Loop deal, VTT. So the Vegas Loop is the Elon Musk Boring Company underground tunnel that they're proposing underneath the Strip as replacement to the monorail. So let's talk about the monorail first, and then we can talk about that. So the Las Vegas monorail has officially gone bankrupt. The Las Vegas monorail has not been running since the pandemic. It's currently not running. They declared bankruptcy. The Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority that operates the convention center has made a down payment on the Las Vegas monorail. They've put $1.8 million down for the monorail and eventually has a $24 million acquisition of the monorail. Now, Why is the Las Vegas Convention Visitors Authority buying the monorail? It's not really because they want the monorail. It is to secure the non-compete agreement that the monorail has that says no other companies can service the same hotels and the east side of the Strip. So now that the monorail's out of business and it's being purchased by the Las Vegas Convention Visitor Authority, that makes way for the Boring Company to build more tunnels under the Strip and service more hotels. Now, the interesting thing about the loop and this and that, is Tesla announced that they were going to have these like custom Tesla vehicles. Apparently, for the first tunnels that are running amongst the convention center, they're going to be regular Tesla vehicles. Actually, people have shown pictures of the Tesla vehicles entering in those tunnels. And supposedly autonomous at some point. We'll see what those actually look like when they start. But apparently the one that connects just the 3 exhibit halls of the convention center is near completion and near operation. My guess is they can connect it to Disneyland. That'd be fun. I think it'd be really fun to take the Las Vegas monorail to Disneyland, although quite slow. Wu Tai says Las Vegas needs to promote the natural things around the area. Gambling only gets you so far. Probably true. I think this is a great case about why Las Vegas needs to diversify even more. And Lori answered an earlier thing. We talked about smoking, that Bally's has smoking rooms all in one area, pushed far back in the hotel. Air is very good, so their ventilation system works well. Thank you for the report, Lori. I appreciate that. Actually, it's one of the things I love about doing these live streams, is I love learning for all of you that are watching. People always ask me about, that was not what I had in my notes here, but we're going to talk about this one. What's this? Aha. Okay, we'll do this in this order. Restaurants. All right. So a restaurant that I'm really excited about opening in Las Vegas is Din Tai Fung. This is my favorite Chinese restaurant in the world. They have a lot of different stores, a lot of different chains. Din Tai Fung is known for their soup dumplings. The chain itself is from Taiwan. Many Din Tai Fungs have like hour-long waits to eat there, and they're opening in the Strip in the Aria, in the former Aria Cafe. They released a 2-minute promotional video with the owners of Din Tai Fung. I'm just going to roll that for you so that you can really see what it's all about, and then we'll come back after that to talk about what's going on with buffets.
Din Tai Fung is a family-owned restaurant that specializes in soup dumplings, or xiaolongbao. It was started by my grandfather, Yang Bingyi, in 1972. Din Tai Fung started as an oil retail shop, and my grandfather turned half of it into a restaurant.
It did so well because of their attention to detail and their focus on guest satisfaction that it started to attract the attention of foreign tourists from Japan and other countries. And from there, it really just took off internationally. You won't have the true Din Tai Fung experience without first tasting the xiaolongbao.
The way we prepare xiaolongbao is the way that the Din Tai Fung original store, when we open it, is the same way, same recipe we present right here in Din Tai Fung area.
We feature our iconic show kitchen near the front entrance that shows the art of making xiaolongbao.
You can see all our dumpling chefs prepare the fresh dumplings every day, fully by hand. It's around 10,000 pieces that we produce every day.
My favorite dish is the xiaolongbao, and each dumpling is an art piece, and it bursts with flavor.
My favorite dish is probably the shrimp and kurabuta pork wontons with spicy sauce. It's a house-made specialty sauce that people are really addicted to.
Our guests will experience the 5-star hospitality, also combined with the Taiwanese food and Taiwanese culture to remember that this is a memorable dining experience.
We're so excited to be here in Vegas at Aria Resort and Casino.
We would love return guests to really get a taste of home when they have Din Tai Fung in Vegas, and for our first-time guests to have a really, truly unique experience dining with us.
Yeah, and so if you are going to Las Vegas and you like Chinese food, you should put Din Tai Fung on your must-eat list. Zachary Smith says, I lived in Taiwan and I've eaten at the original Din Tai Fung. It's my favorite. It's my favorite, too. I've eaten at the original Din Tai Fung, I mean, 5 times. Every time I go to Taiwan, I eat at the original Din Tai Fung. And it's always funny because when you go to Din Tai Fung in the U.S., they always ask you, oh, have you eaten here before? And I always love their reactions. They're like, absolutely, I have. I've eaten at the original one in Taipei. And then one employee, actually at the San Diego Din Tai Fung, when they opened, said like, oh, it's like, that's awesome. He said, I've been there too. He actually said Din Tai Fung has a corporate training program where when you work there long enough, they actually send you back to Taiwan to train there with like people in the original shop and the original stores. So they do a really good job. So go there, get the soup dumplings, the xiaolongbao, and they serve a lot of them. They mentioned they're expecting the Vegas store to make 10,000 soup dumplings a day. That's really impressive. Let's see. B-Bear asked if the Manor Lodge at Circus is being renovated. I have no idea. I hope so. It needs a renovation. Vic Lau says the cucumber salad at Din Tai Fung is the best. It's really good. It's the spicy cucumber salad. The curabota pork, shrimp, spicy wontons, also really good. The last thing I'll tell you to get if you go to Din Tai Fung is the pork chop fried rice. It's a deep fried breaded pork chop that's sliced, put on top of fried rice. It's out of the world. Out of this world, and Darren says that Panda Express should watch out. Panda Express should watch out. They are entirely in 2 different leagues. All right, I said I would mention buffets, so I was kind of sad for buffets right now. The only buffet currently in operation on the Strip proper is the Wicked Spoon at the Cosmopolitan. If you want to go there, they're accepting reservations, so I'd encourage you to make a reservation. The Wynn opened theirs, but they closed again. It didn't really open as a buffet. They had like a menu, and you could get as much as you want, but it wasn't the buffet experience at the Cosmopolitan. You can go up to the buffet. You don't serve yourself. They have somebody give you the small plates. Other option for a buffet, not really the Strip, but the South Point Hotel. It's on Las Vegas Boulevard, but I wouldn't really call it the Strip because it's so far away. Their buffet is open all 3 meals 7 days a week. Just like the Cosmopolitan, you go look at it, a server gives it to you, and it's a lot cheaper than Wicked Spoon. The prime rib buffet is $18 with the South Point Club card. Now, there's a couple rumors about other hotels closing their buffets. The rumor is that the Flamingo Hotel is turning their buffet into a theater space, and the Main Street Station is turning their buffet into a food court. I hope that's not the case, because I like buffets. Yeah, Emmett says he's that dude that orders chicken strips and flies. Anthony says, how does that comment get highlighted and not mine? Which one? Anthony, your comment just got highlighted. Randy says the South Point buffet is open, but it's really bad. I guess that's why it's cheaper. So, I mean, if I was going to pick a buffet to go to, I'd pick Wicked Spoon because I actually really like Wicked Spoon. Josh says, your videos made my Vegas trip last year outstanding. I can't wait to go back. Keep it up. Thank you. Dot Sunshine wants to know what I think of Tahiti Village. I have never stayed at Tahiti Village, so I have no opinion on it. But if anybody on the live stream has an opinion on Tahiti Village, please let a fellow traveler Dot Sunshines know in the chat. I'm sure they will appreciate it. Tanner says, how long before Las Vegas is hosting a Super Bowl? I would imagine soon. Nothing's been confirmed yet, but, you know, it would seem like that new Allegiant Stadium could be a location for the Super Bowl. All right, let's talk about shows. Everybody asks about shows. And by the way, Chris says, I was just in Las Vegas. It's a ghost town. On weekdays, it's a ghost town. Everybody says it's a ghost town on weekdays, but everybody says on weekends it's packed. So I was curious, Chris, when were you in Vegas? Weekdays or the weekend? Okay. So shows and entertainment. So shows are coming back to the Strip. Caesars has announced the following shows are returning. X Country at Harrah's, it's already open. Absinthe is going to be at Caesars Palace starting Wednesday, October 28th. Piff the Magic Dragon at Flamingo the next day, Thursday, October 29th. And Tape Face at Harrah's on November 11th. MGM has also announced a bunch of shows returning to MGM. David Copperfield coming back. I know I've seen a lot of requests about, like, Chris, is David Copperfield coming back? Sure is, starting November 6th. All the MGM shows are starting November 6th. David Copperfield, Carrot Top, Brad Garrett's Comedy Club Fantasy, Jabberwockies, The Australian Bee Gees, and Thunder from Down Under. That's right. Now, all of these shows, 250 guests or less, and they're also mandating a 25-foot distance from the stage to the audience, so there's going to be no real front row seats. The front row is going to be 25 feet back now. Brubq says Blue Man Group and Caught Need to open. I agree. Blue Man Group is probably one of my favorite shows on the Vegas Strip. And Tiffany gives that data point that the Strip is packed. Tiffany said, I was in Vegas this weekend, got back this morning. It was crazy packed. It's busy on the weekends. And Anthony says the live stream showed a packed Strip relative to a few months ago. Yeah, so busy on weekends, not so much on weekdays. And Jeff says 2024 is the earliest Vegas could host a Super Bowl because the next three are Tampa, Los Angeles, and Glendale. Thank you for that data point, Jeff. Okay, but so speaking of how busy things are, even though on weekends it's busy, casino revenues are down significantly. The Nevada Gaming Control Board said that casino revenues in August were down 22%, which is not as bad as in July and August when they were down 39%, so it's getting better. But the hotel occupancy in August, Chris, why are you talking about August? You know, the tourism bureaus don't really release spur of the moment statistics. These are the current ones available. In August, the average hotel occupancy in Las Vegas was 42%. An average for August is 89%. So the hotels are really empty. And one of the reasons why is there's no conventions. In August of 2019, 600,000 people that were in Las Vegas were there for the conventions. And now there's no people for conventions. So there's 600,000 people that would have been there that aren't there. Now, rumor is a lot of the casinos on the Strip are really bracing for the first few weeks of December, where they're forecasting room occupancy in the teens. Yeah, between 10 and 20%. Because you think about it, you know, people are worried about flu season. They're worried about COVID. People generally don't travel all that much after Thanksgiving, before Christmas. So, you know, if you're looking for really good room rates in Las Vegas, it's probably going to be those first 3 weeks there of December on the Strip. Now, the last news update that I want to share with you is one I'm happy to hear of. It's the Sahara lawsuit against Vital Vegas was thrown out of court. Not the Sahara Desert, but the Sahara Hotel was suing the blog Vital Vegas because Vital Vegas shared a rumor that the Sahara was closing. The Sahara didn't close, but they were suing him that said for defamation that he, you know, intentionally tried to do this. He wanted to hurt their business, and you know, it's kind of lame for hotels to sue bloggers. So I'm glad to see that that was thrown out, because he definitely was not hoping that the Sahara goes out of business. I hope none of these hotels go to business. I hope everybody stays in business. I hope Vegas stays in business. Everything like that. But, you know, you hear a rumor, and I think if you say it's a rumor, then we should be able to share what we are hearing about things. So I think that's a great legal trend. Whoop, whoop, whoop. All right.
Fellow explorers, it is now Q&A time. If you've got a question, I've got an answer.
All right, it is Q&A time, so if you've got a question that I didn't answer, hit me up now. Make sure you have a question mark after it. DLVTT wants to know when construction in the Convention Center will finish. Soon. I don't have an exact date, but the Convention Center construction was supposed to be finished by January for the 2021 CES, which obviously won't be happening, but that's their goals. A lot of people... Never Without Kai Feet wants resort fees to go away. So does Lexi. I agree. Nick asks if I could see Las Vegas hosting the Summer Olympics someday. I don't know that they have enough sporting places, and I think it's too hot, really, in the summer. They would need to figure out how to make it all indoors, because I think doing a lot of the things they typically do outdoors would be death. Emmett wants to know if I think the holiday prices will still be sky high. I think New Year's is going to be expensive, but I think Christmas will be cheap. That's just my opinion. Honestly, Bridget wants to know, y'all dressing up for Halloween. Our little explorer is dressing up at Baby Shark, because Baby Shark is yellow, of course. DLVTT wants to know when I will be back in Vegas. I don't know yet. As I mentioned, having a 10-month-old daughter kind of still has us home so far. We just do short road trips. We're not sure she's ready for the 4-hour car ride yet. Colossal Mind asked if concealed carrying firearms allowed in the hotels. I don't think they are, but somebody correct me on that if you actually know. EJ, Brad, and Kai wants to know if there's any word on Chris Angel. I have not heard. Carmen wants to know what's the best way to get around the Strip. I hear it's too much to walk. It's a long way to walk. The best public transportation option is the Deuce bus that runs up and down the Strip. They're like these 2-story buses, and assuming you're not doing it at rush hour, then that's a decent way to get around. Tim wants to know if I've stayed at the El Cortez. I've never stayed at the El Cortez, but I would say it is too far from the action. Barb wants to know if I would visit with my family. If we didn't have a 10-month-old that wouldn't sit in a car seat for 4 hours, then yes, I would feel comfortable enough to visit Las Vegas. Emmett wants to know if at the Wynn and the Cosmo you have to go through the security check every time. My understanding is you have to go through the security check every time. I've not heard of anything otherwise. Latora says, is Circa opening soon? Circa, the casino, is opening on the 28th, so 3 days from now the hotel is opening just after Christmas. Carlos wants to know if I think Disneyland had a hotel and casino and theme park will be successful. Like in Vegas, would it be successful? Yeah, I think so. Question on the $20 sandwich trick. It doesn't really work all that often. So most reports from people is that it often does not work. Lexi wants to know when the best time to go to avoid conventions. Really the best way is to check the convention calendar. If you just search for Las Vegas convention calendar, you'll be able to see the conventions, and then you'll be able to pick the weeks that don't have them. Obviously, there are none right now. DLVTT wants to know if I would stay downtown at Circa. Well, now that we have a 10-month-old, we can't because it's adults only. Barring that, just because it's kind of a new hotel, I think it would be neat to stay there at least once. Darren wants to know if hotels are providing complimentary face masks upon arrival. Most of them are. Richard wants to know when the Palms will be open. It has not announced when it's going to be open. Trisha says, hello, Chris. Sorry I'm late getting here. It's okay, Trisha. Olia says, what's the most beautiful state in the U.S.? I don't know. There's a lot of beautiful states in the U.S. I like coastal states, so I like California. I'm probably partial. National parks, I really like the natural beauty of Utah, too. There's just a lot of like open space and things like that, but not a lot of trees. Roll wants to know what's the best steakhouse on the Strip. My favorite is Maestro's Ocean Club. It's in Crystals, which is like in the City Center complex near Aria.
Yes, it's the time you've been waiting for. It's time for the giveaway.
All right, as with every live stream, I give away a Yellow Productions Crew t-shirt to someone who can answer one of my questions. And to get this t-shirt, you have to answer what city and country is the original Din Tai Fung located in. We saw it in the video about Din Tai Fung, so if you can tell me where the original Din Tai Fung started, then I will ship you a Yellow Productions Crew t-shirt anywhere in the world. If you don't win one, you can pick up one yourself. It helps support the channel. You might find them on your screen on YouTube. If not, you'll find them in my Etsy store. Link is in the description below. Randy says, I really like your videos. How did you get so interested in Vegas, particularly versus other cities? Living in Southern California, it's a 4-hour drive. I go to Vegas probably 3 or 4 times a year, and so it just became a place that I'm like, oh, I should do videos on it. I feel like, you know, after 20 years of going 4 times a year, I'm pretty much an expert on visiting, which I feel is different than a lot of the Vegas vloggers who live there and never stay in the hotels. So that's my piece on that. And a lot of you like the topic and keep watching, keep listening, ask me questions. So I keep doing videos on Vegas. Zachary Smith.
And now we have a winner chicken dinner.
There were a lot of people that said it, and I saw the screen scroll, but on my screen, the first one with both the city and country correct. Zachary Smith, congratulations. You win a Yellow Productions Crew t-shirt. Let me know where you want me to send it and your size. Send me an email to chris@yellow.net with 2 W's or message me on Facebook. The next live stream going to be this coming Tuesday at 4:45 p.m. Assuming all goes well, the topic is going to be what's it like to live on a sailboat. And I say if all goes well because, well, I hope that the people I am doing this video with have connectivity, because if they're out sailing around or something like that, then I don't know, we might do something else on Tuesday, but that's what the current plan is on Tuesday, to talk to you all about what it's like to live on a sailboat with Sailing Avocet. As usual, I won't say goodbye because I'll see you all in the next video.